Some of you may have found my podcast on a website called Anchor.fm. It's the platform that I'm using to not only record the podcast, but it's also how it gets distributed to other platforms such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's a really neat program because you can use it on the computer and you can use it on the uh, iPhone or Android or whatever. And I like it because it makes things easy for me, having, being able to uh, not having to visualize everything. It's a little bit accessible to me, so that's why I'm using, and the fact that it's free. So if anyone out there is interested in doing some kind of podcast, it's definitely an easy way to get your message out there. So give it a try. It's at Anchor.fm.
You are listening to the Pleasant Spirit Podcast with your host, licensed massage therapist Kyle Pleasant. Here, we will be discussing topics on health and wellness, as well as self-improvement, and his experiences as a legally blind massage therapist. And now, here's your host, Kyle.
Hello and welcome to Pleasant Spirit Podcast, where we discuss topics dealing with health and wellness and massage and a little fun in between. So thank you. I'm your host, Kyle Pleasant, and thank you for listening with me today. I guess this would be my second episode, trying to just kind of get something set up here and maybe inspire some people out there, or just, have some place to, speak my mind, Maybe somebody out there can say, hey, I relate to that. I don't know. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about stress. And being a massage therapist, I see a lot of people that deal with stress. As a matter of fact, on my intake card, there is a question that says, do you suffer from stress? And just about every other person that fills that out, who doesn't? So, that's a pretty common thread that I see when somebody comes in for massage, because a lot of studies indicate that just about every disease, about 90% of all diseases, are stress related, and stress can come in forms of mental stress. Kids are screaming all day, your reports are due at work, stuck in traffic, and it's very mind-numbing and can cause a lot of stress. But it also can come into physical stress too, where you've worked out a little bit too hard, or you walked a little bit too long, your posture is out of alignment, that causes stress to the body. So there's both physical and mental stress that can lead to lots of problems later on in life. And prolonged stress can actually create some systemic inflammation in the body. So when we talk about stress, one of the main things that happens during a stressful activity is that we have a rise in cortisol hormone levels. And cortisol is fine because it helps to suppress the immune system, and it allows the body to respond to a natural threat. And, if you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, of course you're going to want to have increased blood flow, increased heart rate, increased breathing, and all of your body's resources are going to go towards, trying to get away from that particular danger. But, in society, we don't have any saber-toothed tigers running around or whatever, and when we're sitting in traffic and we're angry and, upset at the flow of it, it has a tendency to give us that same cortisol rising response, even though we're not technically in any kind of danger. And prolonged immune suppressant and inflammatory, chronic inflammatory, and increased heart rate and blood flow, blood pressure, all that kind of stuff leads to, long-term diseases that we definitely don't want to have in our lives. The thing with the massage, is that your body is in a state of either fight or flight, which is the sympathetic nervous system acting, or you have what is called the parasympathetic nervous response, which is the rest and digest. And during the rest and digest phase, your body has the immune system is activated, and it's digesting your food, and your body is basically at its best healing when you're in a nice deep sleep. But whenever you relax, you can meditate or get a massage or just kind of get into a particular space, you can get into that parasympathetic response system and help counteract the effects of any sort of rising cortisol levels or heart rate, or you might even feel a little sleepy or whatever, and allow your body to digest your dinner from that night. When we have a big Thanksgiving dinner and you got that tryptophan running in there and you're full, your body's first response is, hey, I gotta sleep, so it can process all that food that went into the system. So as a massage therapist, people come in with chronic issues or even some acute issues, and getting there on the table allows them the opportunity to kind of just stop and engage that parasympathetic nervous system response. And so it's my job is kind of in that hour to get people as calm and quiet as possible and get into that particular state of mind or that state of being. And so it's a really rewarding career that I have the ability to do that and get people to come in and relax or whatever. But once they leave my office, it's kind of like they got to start making lifestyle changes and dealing with that stress, which is also one of those kind of things that I can also do as a life coach, is kind of help time management and in that goal setting type thing. You can if you are able to compartmentalize some things, it can actually take a weight off your mind and help you sleep at night, so you're not up there thinking about all the things that you want to do and all the responsibilities you got to take care of. I mean, that's definitely something I struggle with sometimes, is sleeping and wanting to wake up and think about the next day and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, the best thing is you want to be able to engage that parasympathetic response as often as possible, and be able to get a good night's rest, because that's going to go a long way with dealing with any kind of pain that you're experiencing, that your body is able to heal itself and absorb any nutrients that come from your food a lot easier if you're in a nice, deep, restful state. So those are just some of the effects that stress has on the body, and why it's not a good idea to have prolonged stress or cortisol running through your body, only whenever it's necessary. So just some things to think about, just being mindful about what you're doing, and just being really, just paying attention to the things that you're doing. Sometimes you can just stand there and wash a dish, just being active in the participation of washing that dish kind of gives you the opportunity to kind of just clear your mind, and just having, it's kind of a meditative type activity. But also meditation is good, where you can just get your mind quiet, and anytime you get that mind quiet and that body still, you're definitely going to engage that parasympathetic response, whether you're getting a massage or just maybe listening to some calming music while you're stuck in traffic. So that's what I've got some suggestions to think about, when it comes to stress, and hopefully that was helpful for anybody out there. And so that will wrap this episode up, and I hope that it was beneficial for somebody out there, and hopefully everyone is able to manage their stress, especially during what we got going on in the world right now, politics and viruses and all that sort of stuff. We want to just be able to engage that parasympathetic response as much as possible. Okay, so everybody have a great week, and hopefully we'll pick this up again soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Pleasant Spirit Podcast. We hope you found today's show informative. Please take a moment to write a review. And if you want to reach out or have show ideas, you can email at podcast@pleasantspirit.com. You can also visit his website at pleasantspirit.com. If you are in the Portland, Oregon area, you can schedule a massage or one of his coaching services at pleasanttouchmassage.com. See you next time, and always be well.